Podcasting. I'm your host, Macsrebo.
And I am your mother,
Jennifer, aka
Macsrebo's mom.
In this episode, we have a special guest today. We have Spencer from the Virtual Cantina.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. I can't wait to be here. I couldn't wait to be here. It's the highlight of my week, so thank you so much, Mac. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Now, you have crossed paths with Spencer over the course of several years.
I like ConnectiCons.
Right?
Yeah.
We've had, I think the first time that we've ever met was perhaps Boston Fan Expo?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it's Boston Fan Expo at the Heinz Convention Center because it was the off year for when they didn't do the BCEC. I had already talking to your dad, Mike, several times online prior. So it was the first time we actually physically met was at that show. And then I saw you at, I was at the Rhode Island Comic-Cons and kept in contact with you guys there, and you guys came to our meetups over at Dave & Buster's, and now Mac's going to be following us around the country in the next year, which is pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Yeah, I missed out one of those Dave & Buster experiences, and I was getting all the...
You had to do classes.
Yes, I was...
So Dad checked me in. He lost track of everything. He lost some papers that we had to get. There's one paper that we had D. Bradley Baker sign, and we needed Megan to sign it. And she was at Rhode Island Comic-Con. We forgot that paper. We did not bring it, so we had to get
the picture that you had?
Yeah, so next time he goes to a con,
So I guess it's that I'm needed, right? I'm the behind the scenes
you're
person.
You're the manager at a Comic-Con. She knows the schedule and everything. Okay, I'm planning. We have to go here, then here, then here.
That's pretty awesome. And yeah, those experiences are what makes this whole community so special. So do you want to jump into? I know that you have a few questions for Spencer.
Yes. Every Star Wars fan has an origin story. How did you first become a Star Wars fan, and what has Star Wars meant to you through your life?
So a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So I like to call myself a Star Wars baby because I was born in 1976. So literally, as Star Wars is turning 50, so am I. My first experience was actually the Kenner toys, because I was too young to go see what was then called Star Wars in the theater. But I distinctly remember seeing Empire Strikes Back in the theaters when I was 4 years old. And the reason why I remember this is because the opening scene where Chewbacca is welding the Millennium Falcon on Echo Base, I started to cry. And I'm not talking like tears. I'm talking like I was inconsolable, thinking that Chewbacca was going to burn his hair or to electrocute himself. So my father took me out of the theater saying, "You're embarrassing me."
Oh my goodness.
Years later, Empire Strikes Back is not only my favorite Star Wars movie of all time, but it's my favorite movie of all time. So a traumatic experience turned me into a lifetime Star Wars fan. And one thing that, Mac, that your parents can elaborate on is that in the time that we grew up, it was okay to like Star Wars, but you really didn't talk about it. It was not really cool. Pop culture was not cool back in the 80s. But yet we all watched all this stuff. We watched the Star Wars, the Back to the Futures, the Karate Kids, and you went to the movies. But you didn't talk about it at school because back then, athletics were always the biggest thing possible. And I was never an athletic kid. I was a band geek and a theater kid, So I would probably say that I was always known as the guy who liked Star Wars, but I really didn't talk about that much. It was when I found out there was actually a thing called Star Wars Celebration, where one of my mentors was going to the show in London in 2016. And I found out that they show all the panels on YouTube. So while I was at work, I had YouTube up on my browser, and lowered it down when my boss would walk through, but then put it back up, and I'd be watching the panels, and I turned to my wife, later that night and said, I don't care where it is in the continental United States, I'm going to the next celebration, which ended up being the 40th anniversary of Star Wars, and that was 2017 Orlando.
Wow.
And that's really where I really started getting involved greatly in the community, but really that was my Star Wars origin story.
Wow, and it's funny that you mentioned seeing the streaming of the celebrations on YouTube, because I remember we were on vacation and
yeah, we were on vacation, and it was the last Star celebration
in Japan.
And I was watching something on YouTube, and then that was next, and so I was keep watching and watching and watching all of them.
And didn't we spot Spencer?
Yeah.
Dad took a little picture and then I believe sent it to you, like, there he is, we know him.
Yes. So several people caught me on the live stream. They were texting me actually during panels, which was pretty hilarious, wearing my VCN loud racers. Japan was such a great trip. I mean, I've been to the Orient before, but I had never been to Japan. And just to go there with like the VCN family and go to Tokyo Disneyland and to like sightsee with my friends, it was a life-changing experience. Even if Celebration wasn't happening, which it did.
So that brings us, you're talking about VCN. That brings us to your next question, right, Matt?
Yeah, for fans who may not know, what is the Virtual Cantina Network, and how did the idea come about, and what inspired you to create it?
So, a little bit of a long story. The origins of the Virtual Cantina Network actually start back at Celebration, just after Celebration 2016. Where there was a group of people from a group called Star Wars 20 started a fan group. And I found out about this group when I decided that I was going to go to Celebration in 2017. At that time, I had put on the page that I was going to go to do karaoke at Universal City Walk in Orlando the night before Celebration. Because at that time, to get into the major panels, they had overnight sleepovers in the building and outside just to get a bracelet to go to a panel. And I didn't know any better at that time. So I said, I'm going to go do karaoke because I don't know what I'm doing. I'll take my chances in the morning to do whatever. So it turned into a bigger event, and the group admins decided to call me up and said, hey, can we do our meetup at this event? And I was like, sure, but I've done all the work already. So make me an admin for the group, and then I'll go ahead and I'll allow you to do the thing. So that's how the group really started. However, the VCN didn't become the VCN in its current incarnation until COVID. Because the last show that was supposed to happen before the world shut down was Ace Comic-Con Boston. And that was supposed to be the first show with Ewan and Hayden together ever.
That's right. I remember seeing the advertisements for that.
Yeah.
And to me, that was great because I'm in Boston, in my backyard. I know the hotel, I know the building great because that was the BCEC where Boston, Fan Expo Boston or Boston Comic-Con happened. So literally the week after, no one knows what they're doing because it's COVID. Like the world shut down. So we did a thing called a watch along, which basically was that it was me on Zoom watching the Phantom Menace and me doing live commentary. And then that turned into our Thursday night watch along where we started to bring actors and people into what we were doing. And slowly but surely, because of that, we had the Tuesday night happy hour where it was just like a Zoom where we invited everybody to come in and we just talked because we needed human interaction at that time.
Definitely.
So we were all together just talking. And then from there, we added more shows to the point where when COVID was over, where a lot of podcasts stopped, we grew. And we grew exponentially to our own kind of, let's say, network, really. So we rebranded from Star Wars 20 to the Virtual Cantina to the Virtual Cantina Network because we had our own podcasting network. And that's really where it came from. When at the end of Star Wars Celebration 17, I want to say that we had about 5,000 members worldwide at that time. Today, we have over 103,000 members worldwide.
Impressive.
Most impressive.
It's quite amazing that we've known you for quite a few years, and we really didn't truly understand how this all came about. And to think that COVID, so much
That's what
has
brought me to Star Wars.
Right.
Because we were just we started streaming on Disney Plus, and I was looking through the Star Wars section, and I saw that they were cartoon. I was a young 4-year-old or 5-year-old, and I saw that they were cartoons, and cartoons for kids, that's what I thought. So I'm oh, there's new cartoons. So we were watching them, and my mom had to order all the toys off of eBay, and I was keep watching them. And
right, so that was what brought us together and connected the generations, because after visiting with Galaxy Edge and taking her there, it snowballed. And then it was that, like you said, we needed something. We needed some hope, and there it was all of the animated series that really
Star Wars, you're my only hope.
it was your only hope, right? And we would play around with those the figures, and
no one at my school knows about Star Wars except for one kid in my 3rd grade class. He knew Star Wars, and I was wearing this Harrison Dula shirt, and he did not know what the character was. I'm you like Star Wars? How can you not know this character?
It goes back to what you were saying, that it wasn't so much being the in crowd, and Mackenzie has a very unique, I guess, perspective on things, because she has connected with people who have this passion for the fandom, but it's people beyond her years. In school, everyone knows that she is a lover of Star Wars. She proudly, advertises that. It's definitely no surprise, and it's.
I remember we were playing this game in class, and you trying to make somebody laugh, and one of the kids did something Star Wars. He picked me, and he tried to make me be mad, and he said, I hate Star Wars, and then he's what's her favorite character? And then Rebecca, my best friend, and then she was Darth Vader. And people know me so well, so they know, even though they don't know what it actually is, they know what I love. And so my best friend was Darth Vader, and so he's okay, I hate Darth Vader. Darth Vader's the best. And he tried to make me laugh, saying about Star Wars, because that's my favorite.
Right.
So people know what. They don't really know what Star Wars is, but they know that I love, and they know the characters.
And that's one of the, I think, missions that you have, is to now try to bring this to light and show that
try
there
to get
are
more kids in Star Wars.
She wants this fandom to continue to thrive, and that's what really inspired her to want to do this podcast, because it gives her a platform to talk to people who have various backgrounds, such as yourself, a fellow fan, and to see how you came into the mix, and what it's meant to you, and how it's now really transformed your life, as well as for Mackenzie. So
it has in so many ways, Mac. And as someone, as a kid, a teenager, even as a young adult, I couldn't find my tribe, if you will. I didn't know where I belonged in the galaxy, really. And I didn't know who, where do I fit in? I was the awkward kid who was involved in band and theater and all that, but my close friends were, just varied. And the VCN, in so many ways, and the Star Wars community, I look at it as it transformed my life to a point where I feel like I found my tribe. I found people that I love spending time with. all the time. I get to connect with people via internet or even at a con or whatever, just because we have a common interest. Now, surprisingly enough, I'm actually an introvert. I am very introverted. And once I find that I have a connection with somebody, like for example, a love of Star Wars, we might not even talk Star Wars ever again. I could talk to you about everything else going on in the world because I feel comfortable that I can be myself. I don't have to put a mask on or a facade just to make small talk, just to do something. So as much as a lot of people say that the VCN or the fandom saved their lives, this saved my life to the point where I like to pay it forward to the same thing, because there might be someone who is awkward out there who didn't know their place in society or the world but loves Star Wars. And I found it, back, at Star Wars Celebration in 2017. So later, after I ran that event, I slept in my hotel for like 2 hours, and I'm like, you know something? I'm just going to go and see what the line is like outside the building. And it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I took an Uber to the convention hall, and I'm online, and I'm exhausted. I might have had a couple of adult beverages the night before, so I was still feeling that quite a bit, as some people do. And people were philosophizing about episodes behind me. And I'm there, I'm like, shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. How am I the most normal person here? And that's what's going on in my mind. I didn't tell them behind me to shut up. But by the end of the weekend, I was getting involved in those conversations. That was normal conversation for me after that. And I was like, you know something? I don't have to be that Star Wars guy. Everybody now is that Star Wars guy. And I can honestly say this, Mac, is that I look forward to any time I run into you and your family at any shows that I go to or anything of that nature. And I have what I call normie friends that live within an hour to 2 hours of where I live. And I could drive to their house at any time. I would rather spend money, get on a plane to spend a day or two with the VCN family than anybody else in the world. And that proved when I traveled to go to London and Japan just to go hang out with the VCN family.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're actually going to the upcoming Star Celebration.
I know, it's our first one. And thanks to, knowing people like yourself and having the experiences, we lean on that. We've actually, Dad has been definitely in connection with you to try to figure out where we're actually going to be staying at the same hotel, I believe.
Yeah.
So
yes, we're staying
at
the same hotel, and Celebration is... Mac, you're coming in at a time where, like I said, I came to Star Wars Celebration for the 40th anniversary. So I was there at the first panel. My first experience was a panel with Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Peter Mayhew, George Lucas showed up, and also John Williams came out and performed a number of the songs. And then Billy Lord, who is Carrie Fisher's daughter, came out. It was right after Carrie passed, did the Obi-Wan Kenobi speech, and set up for John Williams to play the Leia theme. So, Mac, you're coming in 10 years after I came in at the 50th anniversary of Star Wars. So you're coming in at a very, very exciting time to be a fan. And I'm so excited that you're going to have that experience, especially at your age, because, like I said, I didn't go into this until I was 38, 39 years old. And at your age, you're getting to jump in where I wish I had the opportunity to jump in when I was your age. So it's an awesome opportunity for you. And like I said, there is nothing like the Star Wars fandom and the community, but especially I can't say enough about the Virtual Cantina family.
No, definitely. And the Virtual Cantina family puts on something very special that I know that you're looking forward to this upcoming
Boonta Eve.
Yes.
So, for fans who haven't experienced Boonta Eve,
like ourselves.
yes. What makes it so special, and what inspired you to create an event that brings together fans and Star Wars professionals, like a lot of the actors
and behind the scenes people,
yes,
right?
In the IMAX,
yeah,
in such a unique setting.
So, after we did our first event in 2017 for Celebration, we decided that we were going to continue to do it every Celebration. And one of the best things about Star Wars Celebration, besides the convention, is after events. So there was nobody doing anything the night before. So we decided that we're going to run our events the night before Celebration as a kickoff, if you will. And we incorporated my love for karaoke with bringing actors that were not at Celebration to our event to do some meet and greets and signings, because we can't cross paths with Celebration. We can't book the same people from one or the other. Mm-hmm. So we just started doing these events, and they just grown bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where our event in Japan sold out in 4 minutes.
Wow.
When tickets went on sale. But then other events, other conventions started asking us if we can replicate what we do for them. So we started doing what we call the special editions. A little play on when the original trilogy was brought back to theaters, and George Lucas went back and added more scenes and updated the graphics, etc. So we have now done several special editions outside of our regular Boonta Eves, including Rebel Scum Con, which I'm excited you're going to be at, Mac, this year. And we had an amazing show last year, and we're going to have another show this year. So we're just doing this because we love to do it. And another thing, I don't know if your parents told you, Mac, but Boonta Eve, Rhode Island is happening this year.
I know. Rhode Island Comic-Con is a very special convention because it was the very first... Oh, that's okay.
It was my very first convention that I ever went to. We met Ashley Eckstein and Matt Lander there, since I loved the Clone Wars. And actually, we went to the Star Wars section, and I think it was like the Lightsaber Guild that was there, and they're like, do you want to come tomorrow for the lightsaber training? I'm like, there's a tomorrow?
Yeah, so I know for those who tuned in, we... alas, it was our very first time, so we only went one day, and now look at us. We have even the after parties to look forward to. We go every single day that the convention is taking place.
Yeah, we're also going to the Toronto Fan Expo.
I know that's one that you would like to. I believe so. Yes, Dad wants. That was on his bucket list.
Did you get all 4 days?
I'm working on it.
I want all 4 days.
I'm working on it, kid.
But
I got one convention at a time.
Oh, I completely understand that. But so we started doing them at other events, but we all look at it as this, is that going to Star Wars Celebration, honestly, is unlike any convention you have ever been to anywhere. Because first and foremost, it's just Star Wars. There's no Marvel, there's no DC, there's no anime, it's just Star Wars. And I always say that if you prepare for Celebration, every other show you go to is easy compared to Star Wars Celebration. So you're going into a world that you think you know, but you don't know. And it is unbelievably amazing. And what we look at with Boonta Eve, especially at Celebration, is that we spend all year going to other cons, and we might run into other members and have meetups and chat and talk, but we always are leading towards celebration. By the time we get to Boonta Eve, it's a family reunion. You know,
Nice.
by the time you guys get to celebration and go to Boonta 5 in Los Angeles, then the people that you met at Rebel ScumCon, the people you met at Rhode Island Comic Con, the people you met, you know, at Fan Expo Philadelphia, you're going to run into people you know that's going to be like, oh my God, I haven't seen you since there. But also, you're going to meet so many new people that, like, while you're online, let's just say you're going to go see your favorite Vanessa Marshall, because we know Vanessa's there. You're going to be the first person online.
Definitely, yeah.
Did you know?
We're gonna be like super
Just a
early,
little-
and then we're gonna
Just a lucky guess. But the fact is that you might run into people who are online already and might be like, Mac, jump in the line, because you met them the night before and they know who you are from that point. So to us, it's a reunion, but it's also going to the family reunion where you're meeting family from across the country that you've never met before, but you've only heard about and maybe stories and stuff. But then it just becomes one big celebration, if you will, and I'm just using that word arbitrarily, is that Star Wars is life to me. I mean, you can look behind me. I got stuff. You look behind you. You got stuff. Yeah.
It is Mackenzie's life as well. Yes, that's why she
Exactly.
connects.
I feel like since my people my age don't know Star Wars, that's why I have socials. So I spread out and connect with more people that we have the same interest in. And when we go to like Comic Cons, I can also hit on my socials so they can see more things that they like as a fandom. Like if they like Star Wars at a con, they can look and see all the videos that I do, and then they start spreading out and help.
You know, you mentioned about the lead up to Star Wars Celebration and how it's just the focus is on that particular fandom, and you nailed it. We haven't been to a convention that has that sole focus. Would you say, and this is, I know, not scripted here because it just inspired me to think, would you, since you've gone to Rebel ScumCon, would you say that's a good warm-up for us as far as getting ready to prepare for that type of experience? Or
Yes, I absolutely would say that, because it's I'm going to call it the most pure Star Wars show out there on the continental U.S. outside of Celebration. Now, they have people outside of Star Wars going to be there. Like, for example, they have Sean Patrick Flanery, who played young Indiana Jones in the TV show, or the actors and the crew of the movie Fanboys, which your parents might like. You're not old enough to watch it yet, Mac. Maybe 5 years or so, I think you'll get it. But anyway, that's Star Wars adjacent.
Adjacent, that's what I was thinking, right?
So it's Star Wars adjacent. So it's going. You're talking about a con that's going to have about 10,000 people versus a con that's going to have like 150,000 people. So imagine Rhode Island Comic Con. Imagine Rhode Island Comic Con, but just Star Wars.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the scope.
The scope of it all.
Celebration.
I'm just so excited about this.
I know. I feel like Rebel ScumCon is just a miniature of Star Celebration. It's all about like Star Wars,
Right.
and I feel like if you didn't get tickets for Star Celebration, you can go to Rebel ScumCon. It's just another con all about Star Wars, and it's just like a miniature version of Star Celebration.
And honestly, if you're watching your money, it's a cheaper Star Wars Celebration as well. Autograph wise, travel wise, hotel wise. Plus also, I believe you guys are staying at the same hotel I am, and we're attached to the convention building. So you don't have to go outside.
Yeah.
You just walk down the hallway and you're in the con.
Wow.
But I can also
we've
tell
never
you,
done something like that.
but I can also tell you is that a lot of the actors are going to be staying at the same hotel. So at the breakfast buffet in the morning, or later in the night, they're going to be hanging out in the lobby. They're going to be getting getting your waffles and your eggs in the morning.
I'll get my phone now to take photos. It's great. I would like hide. I would like get a little like a bucket, and then put a plant in it, and some dirt, and I'll have some
You'll be
glasses,
hiding. You'll be in
and I would go
camouflage.
like this.
No, but there's so much fun, and it's great. And I can't say enough about the guys at Rebel ScumCon, because they made the VCN, and myself in particularly, because I actually, during the con, I am a social media ambassador for them. They bring me in to do that. They make me feel at home. And
That's awesome.
it's something that the mission of Rebel Scum is a mission that the aligns completely.
Right.
We're for the fans, by the fans. And last year, because of the VCN, Mackenzie, you and your parents got to meet Kentucky and Josh at Rebel Scum. At Rhode Island Comic Con.
Yeah.
And now you guys are going to their show, and it's gonna be great. And I'm just excited you guys are going to get to experience it, and experience Rebel ScumCon, and experience Star Wars Celebration, because you're going from seeing conventions that are full of all sorts of fandom to just being a Star Wars fan for 3 or 4 days and just a Star Wars fan. And that's all you need to be.
That's awesome.
I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I'm counting down the days.
I know it's kind of surreal, and it hasn't
all
hit us
are.
yet.
We all are. Now, that's something funny is that, and Mackenzie, I don't know if your dad told you this. So I'm going to be at ConnectiCon, and I got
that's right, in July.
Really?
and
No,
I
haven't
got
shared that.
and my bad.
No, that's quite all right.
And I got press passes as well for the VCN to cover it, and their head of press said, "Ooh, you might want to contact Macsrebo and her parents to try to go and do something." And I said, "Oh, I'm already friends with Macsrebo's parents." They're like, "Oh, okay." So they dropped your name when I was applying for my own press passes.
That's impressive, Mac. I mean, that means and I know that means so much to her, because and for those who may not know, as of recent, we've lost the main account on Instagram. Yes, but it's not even about, which is so fortunate for us as parents that Mackenzie's never been just caught up in numbers. It's been that sense of community, and she, I think getting through this is because we're looking forward to all the different conventions and reconnecting with people.
The convention can bring more people. If they like
Or those
cosplay, I can hang out the card.
And I think too, you have so many people that you have not met in person. So I know that this summer is going to be incredible for you, because you'll finally be able to meet people who you've been following for a number of years, who have inspired you, and then reconnect with those who have been such fantastic supporters like yourself and the rest of the Virtual Cantina Network, and it's just an amazing experience. So and talking about.
All I was gonna say is that, and at Rebel ScumCon, not only is Mackenzie going to be able to see Vanessa, who's going to be there, but I kind of heard through the grapevine that the lady who did all the hair for the Mandalorian is going to be doing your hair, Maria.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna be young Leia, and we do. She has like these braid buns on the top, and it takes a long time for us to make them, so we want her to do them, and I feel like they're gonna be so cool. I'm gonna try to like put tape on my house so I don't make it scream, because like sometimes
Scream from excitement.
Spencer helped that, so thank you.
And in fact, I know that when we were in conversation, Spencer was actually instrumental in getting that to happen, because Dad was listening in and tuning into the whole experience, and we weren't sure if we had availability, and this is why it's so great to have these connections.
we have friends.
Friends
They
everywhere.
help out, yeah.
Right, so thank you to Spencer for making that possible.
It's my pleasure. I love Maria. Maria's great, and you're going to get your hair done by the person who did the hair for Fennec Shan, for Bo-Katan, for putting Rosario's hair up, for the Leiku that you have behind your mom, for Ahsoka, who did Hayden Christensen's hair for Ahsoka, for those scenes. So Maria's fantastic, but also you're going to get to meet Carly King, who's probably one of the most popular female content creators out there for Star Wars. So that's pretty awesome. I think for you, Mac, that's absolutely incredible that you're going to have such an opportunity to meet some people that inspire you, but also to be part of the galaxy that's going to be so much bigger than you could have ever anticipated right there alone. And it won't feel so crazy or anxiety driven, just like going to like a fan expo or the Rhode Island Comic-Con. Rebel Scum Con, you'll feel like, wow, I actually can breathe. I'm not overwhelmed, and I'm having fun.
And I think that's the greatest approach. I know that my husband and I, my husband in particular, he was quite nervous about Rebel Scum Con because there are so many people. Like, if we've gone to another convention, we have just a handful of people that represent the Star Wars fandom, but then there's just so many. And I said, you know what, I think we're just going to take it all in because, hopefully if we don't get to them this time around, but I know that there's quite a few people that are on our must-have list here, and the Boonta Eve list. I mean, it is an incredible lineup. So it's we're just so amazed, and just talking about building up this community here. Would you like to?
Yeah, one of the things we've learned through knowing is that the Star Wars community is built on people lifting each other up. Whether it's introducing
the
fans to other
fans,
other fans, or creating opportunities for others, you always seem to bring to connecting people. Where does the generosity come from?
Well, thank you very much for saying that. So, my background, as I mentioned before, is in theater. I was trained as a director and a producer, and at the college that I went to, which you might have met her at Rhode Island Comic-Con, Kathy, who's always around the conference. Kathy and I went to college together.
Wow.
We were in the theater department together, so we were trained by the same people. But our college was a small college outside of Boston that didn't have a theater. So we literally built the stages for every show, painted them, and then tore them down to make them classrooms again. And for the next show, it was all we built the community because we are all involved in it from day one. And it was very much a DIY theater program at that time. Now, it's been a while since Kathy and I graduated college, and they now have a theater, but they don't remember the times when we had nothing before the dark times, before the Empire. But, so I come from a background, Kathy comes from a background of coming from nothing and building something and building it up together. And also being someone who, as a kid, was chosen last for sports. It was never popular, if you will, or anything of that nature. I've always tried to invite everybody because I remember what it was like to be on the other end of that. So if you've ever wanted to be a podcaster, we can find a space for you. If you've ever wanted to, be part behind the scenes of a show, we could always use you as a volunteer. We could find a place for you to feel like you're belonging into that. So I encourage that as much as possible because I feel that there's so much negativity in the world that we live in today that might not have been there 20, 30 years ago, that if we can be your safe haven, then it's okay. And also, it's okay to like any point of Star Wars that you want. You don't have to like everything. It's not for everybody. Not everybody likes one thing or another. But the one thing is that we all love Star Wars. We all have an origin story. We all have an entry point that is unique to us that no one can take away from you. So we at the VCN want to embrace the fact that you love Star Wars, and wherever you came in is the right place for you to love Star Wars. And we welcome you with open arms, and we'll never judge you for liking one versus the other. And that's really where it comes from there, is that we want to have a community of people who just love Star Wars and want to embrace that love together.
And we love about, that sense of positivity. And that's
Yeah.
why, we're trying to surround our daughter with those kind of people who are inspirational, who know that they're not going to put you down. We've been very fortunate to cross paths with quite talented cosplayers, and they don't critique. They've always been helpful, always lifting each other up, and that's something special about this sense of community.
I feel like Boonta Eve will bring a lot of Star Wars fans together and meet all these guests and have so much fun. Talking about Boonta Eve, what is next for you? What are some upcoming projects or events or ideas you're excited to share with the Star Wars community?
So obviously we're gearing up right now for Boonta Eve, Texas, which we're very, very excited about. We got some incredible guests. We got four animated Leias going to be at that event, which I'm very, very excited about, including Catherine Tabor. Also Anna Graves, who is Duchess Satine as well. We got Bonnie Peace, who is Aunt Beru, who's going to be there, which is going to be awesome. One person that I really want you to meet, that you're only going to get to meet her at Boonta Eve, is someone named Lauren Vogt, and she's an ILMer. And not only did she do work on the prequels for Star Wars, but also for your parents, she was a chest-bursting alien in Spaceballs.
So awesome.
She puppeteered that, but she was the puppet designer for Sally in Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah,
So so that's something that I absolutely want you to meet Lauren as well, because that's something, I think that you probably love Nightmare Before Christmas, and someone like your dad will love Spaceballs. I think it's going to be
another one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I
so
can't wait.
that one.
And today is actually Mel Brooks' 100th birthday too. So
100, I saw that. It is incredible. I need those jeans.
I know, right? So I'm excited about that. And then obviously 3 months later we have Boonta Eve, Rhode Island Comic-Con, which we're calling Into the Grogu-verse. That's our name for it. We have not announced our guests yet for that show. We'll announce it after Texas because we don't want people to get confused.
No.
And then Star Wars Celebration, we have our big Boonta Eve event, Boonta Eve 5, the VCN Strikes Back, which will take place in Los Angeles, which, other than the date, no one knows anything about, and we're announcing Black Friday.
Ooh.
I'm actually flying out to California next month to go. Not only I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con, but I'm also going. That's the biggest con in the world. But we're going to go shoot the commercial for Boonta 5 at the location next month. So planning that right now, and I'm going to have about 25 guests at Boonta 5 in LA.
I can't even imagine one bigger than the ones that we're going to be going to for the first time.
Oh yes, and then
unreal.
And then I am under contract with Rebel ScumCon until the end of 27. So I am working also on Boonta Eve Texas 3. already.
Beautiful.
So I'm working on 4 Boontas right now.
Wow.
And my
He's got a
goal
lot
is
down the
to,
pipeline.
and my goal is to eventually do 1 a quarter. Like I want to do at least 4 a year in general.
Wow.
So I got all that working. Plus also this year on the off years from Star Wars Celebration, we do a thing called the Family Vacation, where we go away as a group somewhere to do something Star Warsy. And the month after Rebel Scum Con, 80 of us are going down to Orlando, Florida to go to the parks.
That's awesome.
So we're going to go do Galaxy's Edge, which we've done before. All of us walking to Galaxy's Edge wearing the same T-shirt, which is awesome, by the way. We've done that in Orlando before. We did it in California. Now we're going to do it again in Orlando, and we're going to go to Epic Universe. We're going to go, to Epcot and whatever. But
Take me
we're
with you.
I knew that was going to be coming up.
But we love spending time in any sort of capacity with our Virtual Cantina family, and it's honestly the most fun and the best time I have in my entire life. My wife, who is not, I wouldn't say a conventional Star Wars fan, she's a Star Wars fan, but not like your mother, Mackenzie. My wife is what we call a civilian. She doesn't like massive cons, but she loves the hotel convention. So she loved Rebel Scum Con that she went with me last year, and she went to another con with us in Nashville 2 years ago. It was just at a hotel, which was attached to the convention. She has started to become more and more involved with our events, and she's going to be down there in Texas helping out at our merchandise stand at Rebel Scum Con at Boonta Eve. But also, it's an opportunity for my wife to get to see, it's almost like I had 2 lives. I have my home life, and then I have my Star Wars life. And now she's getting to see my Star Wars life, which honestly has affected my real life. I mean, the Virtual Cantina Network and all the work that I personally done on VCN helped me personally get the last 3 jobs I've had.
Wow.
My day-to-day jobs. And I work in marketing and events as my day job. So I do VCN for fun.
Wow.
So I'm doing the
This is
same
all
kind of
spilled
stuff.
over.
I just transfer the skill set from my day job to VCN and utilize whatever I learned from VCN to help my day job. So Star Wars all the way around has changed my life, and for the better. And I get to have met so many amazing people, especially you and your parents, because I love seeing you guys at any con I go to.
Well, the feeling's mutual.
I kind of relate to you. I see myself as Spider-Man because I'm like Peter Parker, normal day, normal human, and then sometimes I get out of school and go to Comic-Cons and all that. Sometimes we leave a little early, and that is like my Spider-Man life, my con life, my cosplay. And I have friends that are older, and one time we were on this field trip and my mom was showing all these videos, and my friends are like, who are you? And so this my friend Abigail, which was my other guest, she was Sue Storm. And then I was Valeria, and I was with a blonde wig. And my friends were like, where are you? I'm like, I wanted the blonde wig. And they don't know about my cosplay life. They can't tell that I wear wigs. So it's kind of like you don't really know, and you don't really...
So you feel like you have 2 separate lives and
because sometimes I'm like, I'm going to go to a doctor's office. Actually, I'm going to like Chicago for a convention or something like that.
It's supposed to be on the DL, Mackenzie. We're signing her out early. It's for another doctor's appointment. My mom laughs and says, oh my goodness, it must think she's really sick or something.
Yeah, she came down with the Force.
Definitely.
No, but Mackenzie, I can honestly say that, treasure your friends that are not part of that, because it's always important to have friends of multiple interests and likes and everything of that nature. But I'll tell you that you'll always have a home in the Star Wars fandom, and you're always going to have people around you who love you and like you for who you really are. And if your friends outside Star Wars do not agree with that, That's their problem. That's not yours. You just keep on doing what you're doing because you're doing it the right way. And you're lucky to have parents that encourage that and also, are easy to enable when I say, hey, this is coming up. You might want to take Mac. And like, oh, okay, which has happened a couple of times already. But we're looking for, but seriously, enjoy it, Mac. Enjoy every moment of it because when we grew up, after the prequels, we had no Star Wars for 16 years.
Yeah.
You never have to live in a world where there's no Star Wars. And that is special.
It is. This whole experience, too, with her having to live through the Mandalorian Grogu now being in the theaters and being immersed everywhere. She's like, everyone gets to see what I love, the toy aisles that you're getting to see commercials. And
because the only movie that I had was Star Wars, was like the last Rey movie.
Right, the last of the sequel trilogy, and you were still very young. In fact,
it was
5.
We were like 4 or 5 when we went to Disney, and we were in Disney Springs, and they had like this movie theater. Usually when there's like a Disney movie or something that Disney owns, like Marvel, Star Wars, they usually have that movie in the theater. And you can go see it. So it was the Rise of Skywalker, right?
Right.
And they were playing that there, and so they had like this big backdrop,
There
and so
are
I took a
banners
picture with
everywhere,
that. It was so fun. And now there's like this big movie that I'm like old enough, and is now I imagine that's going to be like sold out, but it wasn't, and I wish there was more. Yeah, but when we were at the movie theater, I saw younger kids with a little Grogu plushie walking in, and I love that. That actually brings joy to my heart, seeing that younger kids are going. And even though there's not sold out, there's younger kids going, and that is bringing kids into Star Wars.
Right.
New movie and an adorable little cute baby too.
Well, exactly, and this is something speaking to your parents as well, is that Grogu brings in a whole other generation to Star Wars fans, but also, you might not understand this, Mackenzie, but Grogu is a little green cash cow. He just prints money. So nothing's going to happen to Grogu anytime soon.
Better not.
Where can everyone learn more about the Virtual Cantina Network and can stay connected with everything you have coming up, like Boonta Eve and all the other events that you're having?
Absolutely. So if you go on Facebook and you type in Virtual Cantina Network and you find the Star Wars Celebration Los Angeles 27 page, the one that has 103,000 members, there's other celebration pages out there, but we're the largest one there. You can find out most of the stuff we have there. Or you can go to virtualcantinanetwork.com for our Facebook, for our webpage. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/@Virtual Cantina Network. We're on Instagram. We're on X. But Facebook is the best place to find us, and it's also the best place to find me. So, that's where you'll get all the information. That's where you're going to find out also all the information for when our tickets for Boonta LA will go on sale, will be from the Facebook page.
That's awesome. So we'll definitely put all those links in this, in the bio, so that we can have everyone be able to connect with you and because there's just so much that's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of Boonta Eves that are happening, and I'm really excited for them because there's a lot of guests coming, and I feel like people should get those tickets.
Yes. If they haven't already, get them, right? I know that they're selling out.
Hopefully we're going to be the first ones to get them.
Boonta, Texas is 75% sold out, and we're a month and a half away from the event. So that's going to sell out. Rhode Island Comic-Con tickets are on sale, but we got a little bit of time for there. And we'll announce when tickets for Boonta LA go on sale on Black Friday this year. So you'll find out before the end of the year when those tickets will go on sale for LA. So yeah, a lot of great stuff going on, but it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. So I'm glad that you are coming into your own, Mackenzie, at a really good time for the fandom.
Thank you.
Thank
Right?
you. Yeah, thank you so much. And this is
My pleasure.
Expo.
So that would be, I guess, a good sight. We want to thank you for joining us again
Yeah.
today and being a special guest and sharing all the wonderful, events that you have planned.
Mhm.
And we're looking forward to connecting with you over this summer
And we'll also
in
be-
person.
Yeah, and we'll also be looking forward to going to all the Boonta Eves that you have going on. Well, this is
Can't wait to-
Macsrebo.
No, I was saying, I'm excited to see you. And also, you're Macsrebo, but at Boonta, you're going to get to meet the person who played Macsrebo in the Book of Boba Fett.
So cool.
Yeah.
Every time she hears Macsrebo, she's like, "Everyone's talking about me."
As they should.
I'm the Powerpuff me.
Well, again, thank you so much for joining us, and
Yeah.
I know,
This is Macsrebo
and Macsrebo's mother.
signing off from the galaxy
Far, far away.
Bye, everybody.